Hello friends, welcome to the Seated Scribe, a channel where we discuss pens and writing, and I am Rudrashish Dotto. Friends, continuing with the practice of having 2 episodes every week, with the Wednesday episodes devoted to reviewing a workhorse pen that I have been using in my collection for the past 2 years at the very least, and the Sundays devoted to unboxing a new pen and reviewing it. This Wednesday, that is today, I shall visit a workhorse that I have been using for the last 6 years as a regular everyday carry. I am speaking of my Lamy 2000, one of my all-time favorites in my collection. Friends, Lamy 2000 has been creating waves since its first manufacture in 1966 for many innovative reasons, including its design. Having a semi-hooded gold nib with a platinum coating and a brushed body in black made of fiberglass polycarbonate manufactured by the German company Bayer and termed Macrolon with super tough exterior, my Lamy 2000 has been a workhorse with no fuss whatsoever since 2017. The piston filled design, holding a large amount of ink, a translucent window to check ink levels, non-slippery grip, and a spring-loaded clip that can accommodate even the thickest pocket fabric. My Lamy 2000 has been ticking all the right boxes, and no wonder this pen fares in almost every top 5 collections among pen users and reviewers across the world. So friends, let us now look at my 6-year-old Lamy 2000 and see how it fares under actual writing circumstances even today. Well friends, this is the Lamy 2000 that I have been using as an everyday carry since the end of 2017, that is for the past 6 years. And with regard to the physical aspect of the pen or the change that has happened in the past 6 years, friends, I detect only one change that has happened, and that is with regular use the external body of the surface of the pen has developed a patina of its own. I am not sure whether I am able to tinker with the light angle to give you an idea of the patina that this pen has gathered with regular use over time. And other than this pen has almost the same external and use level or use efficiency as I had it on the day of my purchase and unboxing. So this is one thing. So it's not that I have taken particular care of this pen. I usually carry my everyday carries. I pop it into a pen pouch in my bag and just take it off to work. So it's not that I care too much for these pens, and this pen has in the last 6 years taken a lot of hits and falls in their stride and still remains a pen that has no mark whatsoever of the storms that they have gone through, this pen has gone through. So this is with regard to the external aspects of the pen, and now we go into the details of the pen which appeared interesting to me before I take a writing sample. Friends, the cap of the pen is made of reinforced polycarbonate, as they call it, and termed Macrolon. The clip is made of brushed steel. It's quite sturdy and robust, and it's genuinely spring loaded, friends. As you can see, the thickness of the clip can actually accommodate even very sizably thick fabric in pockets, and the fact that it has an inward facing teeth at this end actually indicates that the clip and the pen will be put shut at the exact place where it is placed in the pocket. So this is one aspect of the clip. The other aspect is this part of the clip has the word Lamy inscribed on it. And there is another interesting thing with regard to this clip. As I can see, I don't think I'll be able to focus it for you. It's in the underside of this clip. We have the word Germany 2 punched in the underside of this clip, and this 2 is actually the die number in which this clip is cast in the Lamy factory and nothing else. So this is the clip. Now to look at the cap, the inside of the cap, I can see immediately 3 concentric coats reinforcing the outer polycarbonate, and this actually helps to click shut the pen with an almost airtight tightness, and that is the reason why, friends, Lamy 2000 can begin writing even after several days of non-use. So this is with regard to the cap, and if you can notice, these are the outer fringes of a steel rim that is inside, invisible inside and fitted here, which will actually lock at one of the concentric circles inside this, creating that tight clipping sound as this, and the pen is locked shut. So this is one interesting innovation that Lamy has. And now with regard to the pen has a classic cigar shape. The other end of the finial it has a silvery coat, circular coat, it's flat. The cap end of the finial is not exactly flat but slightly circular, and it is shiny. So this is one aspect. The other aspect is this is a piston filler, and we cannot easily detect the seam where the piston is actually engripped and engaged with this, friends. It's here. Well, there you see. It is a no fuss piston filler. So as we unscrew it, the piston pushes to this end and stops somewhere here. These are the translucent slits or ink windows. So it comes here. Once we dip it, this breather hole, as we can see, this will actually suck in the ink, and as we put it or we twist it clockwise, the piston will pull back, creating a vacuum with the ink getting sucked in. So this is the innovation with regard to this pen, which caught users way back in 1966, and essentially this timeless design of Lamy is another reason why it ticked most of the right boxes among pen users across the world, and we still today have Lamy 2000 sold in droves in most countries of the world. And the other issue with regard to Lamy 2000 is that Lamy has thankfully not outsourced production, the final production, out of Germany, and therefore the same quality control that characterizes Lamy with regard to most of the other pens are evident here. And now with regard to the gripping section, this gripping section is brushed steel. As you can see, it doesn't attract fingerprints. Though it tapers without any flare, there is sufficient friction that is generated between the fingers and this so as to prevent slippering of fingers even in sweaty hands. So this is one aspect of the gripping section that appears very useful to users. Sorry. Now we go to the nib. As I have indicated in the introduction, the nib is actually a platinum coated gold nib, 14 karat gold nib. We will see it during the writing sample. The feed is plastic. And it has never occurred to me that I should do any kind of unmaking, as it were, of the pen by opening the parts to clean it or otherwise. A plain and simple rinsing with water under usual filling and unfilling circumstances that usually kept my pen clean. As you can see through the ink slits, the inners of the ink chamber is fairly clean. It remains clean with one or two rinsing with plain water, or if, and I have done this a couple of times, if there have been inks which have been forgotten inside this and we fear that the ink may have dried, all that we can do is we can rinse it a couple of times with water and then fill the whole thing with water, keep it overnight and rinse it again the next morning. So this will keep the inner sections of the ink chamber fairly clean and unclogged. And I have used both pigment based inks and water based inks with regard to this pen, and contrary to common perception that pigment based inks are not structurally friendly to fountain pens, I have found no problem whatsoever with regard to the use of pigmented inks in Lamy 2000. So this is with regard to the external feature, as it were. And now I will be filling up this pen with the diamond imperial blue and see how the pen fares under actual writing circumstances. I have written this even yesterday itself, and it writes as flawlessly as it wrote on the first day. The nib that I had opted for during the purchase is a fine nib, and Lamy 2000 is usually available in extra fine, medium, broad and double broad, with the medium and the fine versions most readily available across stockists of pens the world over. Friends, I will now ink up this pen and take a writing sample before the camera. Well friends, I have inked up this pen with the imperial blue of diamond, and I am now going to use it on 100 GSM paper. This is a fine nib, and as we can see, the semi-transparent slits indicate that the ink is full, or at least it's there till this part. So this, as I've said, is an added advantage with Lamy 2000. Now we go on to a writing sample. As you can see, friends, well, I've used it for so many years, writing well, millions of letters if not more. I'm not sure whether these nibs are actually primed with use, but as I have seen, these the fine nib version of Lamy 2000 did give and still gives today a certain amount of feedback on paper, which is not scratchy at all, but which somehow or the other gives us an impression that we are writing with fountain pens. That is, it doesn't glide over the page. We do get a feedback, but it's not, it's a reassuring feedback in a sense. And yes, so this is it. And these nibs, friends, are 14 karat gold nibs, but they are stiff, and we usually do not get pronounced line width variations. So if I can try to eke out something, it's only this. Maybe marginally the downstrokes are somehow wider than the slant strokes, only marginally, but it would not have any calligraphy type significance. Otherwise, this pen has just the right amount of wetness. The ink that is transferred from the nib to the page is just right for an ordinary writing circumstances, which is one reason why I usually opt for Lamy 2000 while I aim for an everyday carry under normal use. In terms of wetness, it's just a balance of wet and dry. The upstrokes are slightly drier than the downstrokes, but usually the ink takes a couple of seconds to evaporate. So friends, as you can see, the letters have not feathered at all. If I can just focus on the letters, they have not feathered at all. So this is it. I mean, this indicates a quality control of the highest level with regard to the nibs of Lamy 2000. So this is Lamy 2000, and if I am to recommend it, I would recommend it blindly to any user who intends to acquire a pen for an everyday carry. And there's only one issue which I would like to inform prospective acquirers of Lamy 2000 is they need to be sure of the conditions in which they will be using their pens. I would personally prefer a fine to a medium for two reasons. One is the fine actually is as smooth as a medium with regard to Lamy 2000. This is the first reason. So it's not that since a medium transfers more ink on paper and therefore a medium is more smooth than a fine. It's not the case with Lamy 2000. In terms of smoothness of writing experience, a fine is as smooth as a medium. The second thing is that if paper on which we write is not fountain pen friendly, a medium may just feather because it will deliver slightly more ink than a fine on paper. So ideally, to make it an everyday carry with a universally applicable use, I would prefer, or I would recommend, a fine version of Lamy 2000 over a medium, but it depends on individual tastes, friends. And I do have friends myself who prefer thicker letters and they go for the medium version of Lamy 2000. So it depends on individual preferences and tastes, but this is a pen that has been serving me for 6 years very, very faithfully and will serve me, I'm sure, for many, many more years to come. So this is the revisiting of Lamy 2000, which is 6 years old, and I thank you for watching. We'll be coming back with an unboxing and a review in the next Sunday episode. Thank you friends for watching. Keep safe and goodbye.